What up, dude?
What's up?
What's going on,
How's it
man?
going, bro?
Hey, good to have you on Beyond the Brand podcast. I hit you up to be on the pod, brand new, and I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro. I was excited when you told me that you were going to start a pod. I was more excited when you told me I could be on it, so I'm glad to be here, bro.
Had to have you on.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, we just met not too long ago.
Yeah.
Just met not too long
Which
ago.
is odd because I feel like it seems like we've known each other for longer. Even other people, they're like, dang, how long have you known him when we did the pop-up and stuff?
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally like a month or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a short turnaround. But I think we just vibed, man. We clicked right away, like we had known each other for a while. Yeah. And it's a small world because we actually know a few people, and so it was too easy almost.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, man, thank you for coming on. And I don't know about you, but I watched the Cardinals game today.
Yeah,
play the Cowboys.
Yes,
dude. I was talking about this earlier. Is that if we could just win one game out of the whole season. And I'm sorry, Cowboy fans. I got some homies that are Cowboy fans, but that felt good.
Yeah,
that felt good. What do you think?
I mean,
you're a Cardinals fan?
I'm not a huge football fan. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was younger, I did. I've kind of lost the love for it.
Yeah.
But it's Arizona.
Yeah.
So regardless, I'm gonna go for the Cardinals. But yeah, I was happy to see them get that win. But like we were talking about, even when there's 2-3 minutes left and they're up, you're still, because they're Cardinals, you're like, are they going to win this?
Yeah, they're going to pull this out? Or are we just like setting ourselves up for failure? Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Like, at any second, this can go wrong. But it didn't. They got the dub.
Pulled out the W,
and that's their coach's first W, right? The new
coach's first dub. And, I mean, the play calling I thought was all legit.
Okay.
Used a lot of different players within the play schemes. I think just overall, they looked really good. And so it was just, again, it's always good to get a W against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Don't hate me. Don't hate me, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, today's is a Sunday night. Mall closes at 6 p.m. This is, obviously we got the pod going on inside of our location here, Arrowhead Town Center. But I wanted to bring on Angelo. And for those of you that don't know Angelo, I actually met him online again. So I reached out. My wife just hit me up and said, hey, this guy's doing it. Looks like he's doing it big within the vintage game. And that was something that I've always been a fan of. And I wanted to get into the store just because I love the nostalgia of the pieces that, you're able to find by thrifting, by just like trading, by going to the different shows and the markets and the pop-ups. And I mean, again, like the 2000s, these 90s type shirts are sick. And I just saw you moving it, man, moving things, making it fun. And that's kind of like, it matched my vibe again. So reached out to you online. You were pretty quick to hit me back. I mean, what did you think when I hit you up?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. We talked about that too before, but it was interesting that you hit me because I'm like, I go to your page. I hadn't been familiar, but you have a huge following. You're doing your own type of thing, not really vintage, So I'm kind of like, what is this, you know? So I let you know that I could have you come through because at my house I actually have like a little setup with some racks and stuff. Most of the stuff I do is like in person at pop-ups and stuff, but I do appointments. So I had you come through and the vibe was just perfect. So you grabbed a few things and then from there it just took off. So shout out to your wife for linking us. It's always the wives, bro. That's what it comes down to. Dude, it's always the wives.
She had my back on this one, and it really worked out. So I really appreciate that.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, man. So what do you think, man? I mean, obviously you came to the store. The cool thing was that I went and bought some pieces off you, put it in the store. It sold like candy up in here. People were loving it. I was loving it. Just to be able to talk about the different pieces, like, oh yeah, do you remember this piece, that piece? It was really cool, which I really enjoy about just interacting with the different customers. But we did the pop up. What'd you think about that? I mean, how did you think that went? Obviously, you came to the store, set up a rack on the weekend. You've never been inside the mall, right?
Yeah, no, I've never sold in the mall. So that was kind of cool with even our connection because you were buying stuff and selling it here. So it was kind of like I was having stuff in the store before we even did the pop-up. So that was kind of cool. But then you reached out. You're like, hey, let's have you in here. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I thought it went really well. Like it was a great vibe the whole day. It felt like I worked here, kind of like we were just working together. There was times where we had sales, like I sold one thing and you sold one of your tees.
Yep.
So we were like kind of team tagging, you know,
Yeah,
Shaq
yeah,
and
yeah.
Kobe.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
laying it up.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
that was dope. Like, and it went by so fast. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden I looked up and it was 5, 6 o'clock or whatever time I left.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully we can do more stuff like that in the future. I'm always down for it. But yeah, I had a great time. What did
Yeah.
you I never asked you. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I love having people that I support in here as well.
Okay.
And I think it just matched the whole vibe. You're right, man. Time went by super fast. We were having fun.
Yeah.
And you know what was cool about it is that we were able to, you were able to introduce some of your like long-term customers. They came to support you. They checked out the brand, and I think it was vice versa as well. I had some people where I was like, oh yeah, I know them. You know, they're longtime customers. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it was like cool. Like we were bringing our communities together. And I think that was really like, in my eye, that was always like the idea is to connect, bring our communities together and grow together versus just me, you know, or always just thinking like, oh, it's just AZ Life. That's
Yeah.
it. And so I'm always open, you know, to doing something like that, but it's obviously got to be the right fit. And I think it just, at the end of the day, like my customer, I see them wearing vintage. So it just made a lot of sense. So
I
overall, it was fun.
agree. It was really cool. Now that you say that, I don't know her name. Maybe you can think of it, but she bought that like the marine one where it had the fishes and everything.
She got the Barkley jersey,
She
right?
bought the Barkley jersey.
Dude, she came in here. Yeah, her and her husband came in. They bought the new shirt that I just dropped.
The one? Okay,
And
yeah.
she was like, yeah, I got the Barkley jersey off your boy. And I was like, damn, you got that?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that was so cool. And I've had, she's tagged me and a few other people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And even have people have told me that they like the store, just
Oh,
coming
nice.
in here. You know what I
Nice.
mean? They like the setup.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was a win-win. Like,
For sure.
I think that's something that happens in Arizona a lot is it's so small that people are scared there's not enough money.
Right.
But there is.
There
There's
totally
a lot
is.
of money for everybody.
And we proved it.
And we proved it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were both making sales
Right.
next to each other. Even though you already had vintage, they were still shopping on your rack of
Yep.
vintage and then
Yep.
mine too.
Yep.
So like you said, if it fits, you guys can do it. And I hope that there's more of this going forward because I know that your kind of business is a pretty cutthroat and vintage is like that too. Like we're all competing to make that $10, $20 sale, you know? So
Yep.
it's cool to finally run into someone that's thinking the same way and like, let's both eat, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah, I
For
love
sure.
it. It was dope.
Yeah, it was a good day. I was looking at the numbers and it was good. And I think also too, it was good for like putting that on social media. It was I think you got a lot of comments,
Yeah.
a lot of support. And so I think just overall, again, like we're repping Arizona, both of us. We both have AZ in our name.
Yep.
So it's, you know, it was pretty cool. And for you guys that don't know, Angelo owns a business, AZ Vintage. And how long have you been in business for now?
So I've been selling on my own for, you know, since high school, like how we
Okay.
always do. I used to sell shoes, sold clothes, but my business, Vintage in AZ, I've been doing that for 3 years now. In June was 3 years.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, so not too long. It was like around COVID time, really.
2020?
Yes, 2020.
Gotcha.
So
What made you want to start? Like
so
just
basically
vintage?
a lot of it was COVID. Like, and you know, a lot of businesses started during COVID, and mine was one of them. I mean, I was just grabbing so much stuff, and my favorite thing is when I go somewhere and they're like, hey, I really like your shirt. Like, that's like a check mark for me, like, boom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
For
I
sure.
do it for.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same way, by the way.
people, yeah. So, you know, that's what you do for a living too,
For
is sell
sure, yeah.
shirts. And that's what we want, is someone to say, dang, where'd you get your shirt?
Yep.
So that was happening a lot, and anyone that knows me knows that's my thing, you know. So it got to the point where people would always ask me, and I'm like, "Oh, I thrifted this," like, "Oh, I found this," and they're like, "What?" So I got so much of it that I'm like, "Hey, why don't I start, you know, really like selling it, not just giving it to my brother or my sister or whatever. Let me try and sell it. Let me make a page." So the beginning, if you scroll all the way down to my page, it was just my personal shirts, and my plan for the page was just to show like my cool shirts, you know,
Right,
like
just a
have
flex.
a conversation. Yeah, kind of a
So
flex.
flex
kind of a
pieces
flex.
on 'em,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So that was like the beginning of it. And I even had in like the bio, like personals, you know, like not for sale. But it just got to the point where I got so much stuff and people wanted it. I'm like, I only have one body. Like, I can't rock every single shirt. So I have my favorites, and I keep those.
Yep.
My favorite that I collect, that main stuff that I don't sell is like Chicano shirts.
Oh yeah.
So like
I noticed that.
your recent thing that you did, your recent design, that kind of stuff is like my favorite. I have a homies collection of tees.
Nice.
So that's my stuff where I'm kind of like locked on that. But everything else, if you give me the right price, I'll sell it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it started. Is just personal shirts, and then I just got too much. So
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, like some of these shirts that you find them, they're just not in your size.
that too.
Because there's some shirts that I have here. I'm like, damn, if that was just a little bit bigger, bro, that would be in my closet.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got it out here just to slang. But again, it's kind of cool because they are talking pieces. You know what? I kind of see vintage. It reminds me of back in the day when I was collecting cards. Because like on the back of the card, you would talk about it like, oh yeah, this is that Bo Jackson, that rookie when he blew up and had so many touchdowns, and this one's a grade A, whatever it is. They're wearing this jersey. Like you would talk about the card like you were like so proud of it, right? And it's almost like this shirt, like, hey, this is, if you look at it, it's got the date 2006, band tee, whatever that is,
Yeah, for sure. And it even goes further with us that take it a little more serious. At the end of the day, like my shirt says, I buy old shirts. Like I don't take it that serious. These are old shirts. A lot of people get a little too deep into it, but it's just old shirts.
Yeah.
But there is things like you said, like where it's like trading cards, where it's like, dude, look how smoked out this one is, like faded, like
washed perfectly,
washed, and like look how thin it is, like
single stitch.
And there's just things like that where it's like that really ups the value. Some people might not like that, they don't like it thrashed or like distressed. They want a brand new shirt, which is cool because I like that too. I like getting a fresh shirt, but also the distressing on certain shirts is just, hold up. It's
makes
the vibe.
It vintage, man.
Yeah, it's the vibe. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned from you as well. You were talking about the different tags on shirts.
Yeah.
And that's all that, obviously you're learning all of that while you're looking for vintage, collecting it and selling it. And that's what helps you kind of price vintage. So can you talk a little bit about like, how do you price a vintage tee? Like, is that something that you look up online? Are you asking around, or like, how does that price come about?
Yeah, it's for sure a little bit of both, because sometimes there's something that you get and you can't find it online, which sometimes mean, oh, this is big money, because it's not for sale
more
online.
rare.
It could be more rare. But then sometimes it's just something that no one cares about, so it's not online. So it's a little bit of both. There's different apps you can look on, like eBay, kind of like with shoes, where you look on StockX.
Got it.
So you do a little research there. But I would say a big bulk of it is just what and from your life. Like when I was growing up, there's certain tags that I remember getting myself when I was like in 6th, 7th grade. Now those are worth money. And I know that stuff because I was wearing it when I was young,
Right.
Like these older heads, they were wearing these 90s rap tees, so they know this stuff.
You kind of saw them growing up, yeah.
Yeah, so you've seen them, so now you know. So like the younger generation is trying to catch up to that, and I'll teach them that if I'm cool, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll put them on game, but now I'm kind of like an older head now, where it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Where someone is kind of like, have you ever seen this before? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's just, this is this, that. I'll just break it down to them,
Got it.
But yeah, so a lot of it is, that's kind of what I love about it, is like, a lot of it is like memories just stored in your mind. Like you completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then you see it and you're like, oh, somewhere in your files, you're like, boom, I know what that is.
Gotcha.
That's from, and you could date it back to when you were young. Like, oh, that was when I was like in 5th grade. Okay. That's from 2005.
So it's like more you gain knowledge from experience.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So in this game, sorry to cut you off, but compared to like, let's say something like rap, where, it's like a young man's sport, I think vintage is like an older man's sport, because you see more and more generations of fashion. So like a lot of this fashion that's coming back, I've already seen, and it's just going to keep happening and keep happening. So as we're getting older in it, we're getting better, because I've already seen all this stuff. When these kids are finding things that they don't know about, I do, because I've already seen it,
So true.
And it's even further for someone that's, let's say, 50 years old. They've seen 10 years more of fashion than I've seen.
Right.
So I'm asking him,
Right. Yeah,
So,
what's going on with this? Yeah. It's funny, man, because I get customers in here and they're like, do you know this band? Like, usually like the old dudes too, like, you know this band? I went to go see this band, and they'll say a name and I'm like, I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea what this band, but they love it. And but what it is they're like, if you ever get that tea, let me know, because they're just so. It brings back so much good memory, and I think a lot of these teas do that as well. As it brings back really, really good memories, and I really love the band teas. And one thing too that I had to get through is that I have a Kiss tea there, and somebody said, "Oh, they have these at Walmart," and I said they may have a print of it at Walmart, but it's not one of the original ones from whatever, maybe like tour or like a special kind of pop up or whatever that was, where they were selling it at. And so some people don't see the value in like the original kind of stuff that that they have, where they just say, oh, I can get these at a store in the mall, and I'm like, yeah, but those are all reprints.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just reproductions, So, I mean, and I get it, because some of this stuff that we get, it's so rare that it's so expensive. So they rather pay, the $20 for a brand new one from Target or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, there's a lane for that.
Right.
But it just sucks if you don't want to respect like why we care about it.
Right.
That's the only time you got to see both sides.
Yeah.
Like I see their side, why they wouldn't want to pay $100 for this one, where this one looks the same.
Yeah.
But it's the same with shoes. Like there's Team Jordans. We all know what Team Jordans are. Like those aren't Jordans. They're Team Jordans. But your mom will be like,
"What's the difference?"
What's the difference?
Jordan.
They're the same colors.
Yeah, they're not retros, Mom.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
I got you. Damn, Mom.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. It's funny that you say that, because I do get families in here too, and the kids know about the vintage, and the parents will be like, "Why? What? That's dumb. Why would you buy that? That's old." And they're like, "No, they're trying to tell them, explain it to them, And I'm just back here like listening, like, man, these there's some people that just don't really get it.
They just don't get it. There's just a lot of people that don't want to see both sides. They're stuck in their ways.
Right.
But even the good thing about this too is, I mean, I don't do it for this, but a great side of it is the recycling aspect.
For sure.
There's so many shirts that I see every day, like Shein, all these crazy brands, and they're just
fast fashion. Yeah.
Fast fashion. It sucks. They're ending up in landfills. So a lot of this stuff we're saving.
Yeah.
Now it's on you. It's on this next person. It gets recycled. So
instead of in that landfill. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a good part of it too.
That's a really good point that you make, because there's a lot of people that really do care about that, and I think it's a great way to kind of like just help out. But that's cool, man. So like, what do you have like right now? I think one piece that I do want to hit on is that you were working a full-time job, right? And I get this question a lot, is because I do AZ Life it's a full-time business. I don't have another corporate or any other job at this point. So like, you started this around in 2020, right? And then you decided that, hey, I'm gonna leave my corporate job and take on this full time. So talk to me a little bit about that decision, and like, just talk to me, like, obviously the kind of like the mindset before, and then once you made the decision, like right after, like how you felt.
Yeah. Well, this is going to come, shout out to everybody that's watching. This is going to come as a surprise, because I haven't really announced it like, on my page or anything, just because I don't know. I just feel weird about it. But I'm happy to talk about it, because it could help someone,
Yeah.
So yeah, I was working, I won't say where, but I was working a full-time job. It was going to be this year. It was going to be, I think, 8 or 9 years that I had been there. So it was like a real job, like 401k, healthcare, like a great job, but I just wasn't happy. I would work Wednesday to Saturday. So Tuesday night, the night before I would start work, I would just be dreading it, thinking about it in bed. Like, I hate this, and I was doing both at the same time. So it was just really stressful, because I'm trying to work out family time, my side hustle time, and then my corporate job time. And I just didn't have enough to stretch myself out and to do all of it. So I would have to do pop-ups like once a month, or every 2 months, So it was just really hard, and I didn't even have time to get new inventory. So it was just a stressful time. And but at the same time, I was making great money, so it wasn't stressful to my family. It was just in my mind, And my wife, shout out to her. She's the reason why I quit, because she was always on me like, "You're not happy. Like, stop. Like, we can do this. We'll figure it out. I'll help you figure it out." And she has a great corporate job. So she's like, "Listen, we did the numbers." She's like, "Hey, I can cover pretty much a good amount of stuff. This is just the amount you got to bring in so that we'll be okay. You know, and I'm like, you know what? Let me put it on my back. Let me see if I could do it. And if I can't, I'll go get my job again.
Right.
Like, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
So
because you got good experience there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and when I had the conversation with my manager, he's a great guy. Shout out to my manager, Corey. I'll say his name on here. But he was just so happy about it because they kind of knew what I did on the side.
Yeah.
Because I had to disclose that, the type of work that I did, I had to disclose that information. Yeah. So he knew, and he's like, yeah, if you want to come back, you know, do your thing. But he's like, but honestly, I don't think you'll be back. He's like, I believe in you. I think you can do it.
That's dope,
He's
bro.
like, just based on how you are here, I think you can do it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. So it was so stressful. It was on my mind. I finally went in, dropped all my stuff off, was crying in the parking lot, like not knowing what is going to happen because now I don't have a paycheck coming in anymore.
Right.
And I have a house. I have my daughter.
The bills still keep coming in. Yeah.
They still keep coming, but the money's not.
Right.
So now I'm like, all right. In my head, I was always like, you can do it. But I'm like, let's see. Like, can you really do it? And honestly, it's been since May, so about 5-6 months-ish. And the number that I had set, I've doubled it every month.
Nice.
So, I mean, now don't get me wrong. That sounds a lot like you doubled it, but I'm still the brokest I've been because you don't get money every 2 weeks like before.
No.
So I'm the brokest I've been, the most tired that I've ever been.
Right.
The most stressed. I go to sleep every day thinking of this post. Where am I going to do it? But I love it. I would not change it.
That's
I would
dope,
not change it. So if you guys are out there and you're in between, and I would say do the numbers, you know, sit down. I'm a very calculated person, so I'm not the one to tell you like jump out the window and go do it.
Yeah.
Do the pros and cons, but if it's really weighing on you, your peace is worth more. So just do it. Try it. And if not, it'll probably still be there, whatever you were doing before.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is. You know,
Right,
these corporate jobs are going to be there. They always need people.
For sure.
So, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm tired running back and forth. You know, me and you are trying to work our schedules to work each other, you know, because we're both doing the same thing. Yeah. Just working as hard as we can.
For sure.
To get to it, you know, yeah.
I agree with you, man. Like, it's been, it was really difficult. I almost had the same, you know, I had the same time invested in a corporate job and, you know, making really good money and just on a good path, but I wasn't happy. Same thing. I really regretted it. And I'm right there with you. You know, like it takes a lot of money to run a business. Like it's not just like you sell something and then you get to keep that money. Like when you're running the business, you're selling that, and you know that piece that you sell, it goes and gets divided 100 different ways, and that maybe $1 you get to keep for yourself. You know what I mean? From that one piece you sold or whatever that is. So it's like, you know, I think a couple takeaways here is one is don't be so quick to believe these YouTube or these Instagram or Facebook videos where it's telling you that you could make 10K in a month or 5K in a month. And be happy and do all this stuff and travel because for the most part it's just not true. You got to put in that work. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to be a lot longer for that. So I think that's one big piece of it. And then a second one too is that I got from you here is that you got to follow like what really makes you happy, but also know that it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be that struggle. And obviously I appreciate you being super open about that because I think that's what the reality that people need to face. Yeah,
I didn't even think about that part of it. You're right. There's all these TikToks or Reels or whatever where they're like, quit your job. You can do, you know, and those are great. Like they're motivational, but they don't talk about the side where it's like, you're going to have like, where you just straight up cry. Like sometimes like, you're like, you're just so passionate about something that you love that you can just cry about it like at any time. And I feel like that's something that people haven't experienced. So even if you have something and you're so scared, just experience that part of it. You know, that's an experience. Like just straight up crying because you are so passionate about this idea and it's not working, but you're still like pushing at it. And you're just like, what else do I do? But when you find something that you really love and you're not doing it for the money, that's when the money will come. Like, and the money hasn't came for me yet, but I'm gonna keep going until it does, you know?
Yeah, I hear
so, and I love it. Like, if I can just pay my bills with this, you know, just be good, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. I think it makes, I say all this stuff too, because I ultimately want people to know is that when you shop with us, that it's so important. It means so much more to us. I know that, like, you know, obviously these corporate stores, and I'm right next to Macy's. So I see people lining up when they have a sale for mattress covers or whatever it is, you know, or I see them coming out with different t-shirts and clothes and hats and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, you know, there's pieces where you're just like, was my stuff not good enough? Or like, where am I missing it at? Or whatever it is. And you know, we go through these highs and lows. And so, you know, when you shop with us, it means so much. And I always, when someone, you know, shops here, I always say thank you. I really, you know, and a lot of times I'll tell people I appreciate you coming into the store, and they don't even buy anything. I'm really appreciative of that, of them just checking out, and maybe they come back later, or maybe they tell a friend, you know, and that even helps. So, you know, again, like, you don't have to buy, but if you, there's a post out there that says there's so many different ways that you can support your friend that's an entrepreneur, whether you know, and you don't have to buy, whether it's a repost, you know, you just referring somebody, you just, you know, kind of just talking about that, or a like, a comment. Like, these things go a really long way, and it takes what, 2 seconds, 3 seconds?
Yeah, it goes a long way. There is a group of people that constantly drop that heart on my story. No matter what I post, they drop that, and that just shows me someone's engaged.
Yep.
And all they
Keep
do
going.
is just, exactly, that little heart is like keeping me going, because I'm
For
like,
sure.
because there's a lot of times when you post so much content and you're like, does anybody even care? Is anybody even watching?
What's the point of this?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I just put in an hour work to do this reel, and it didn't do that great. Like, did anybody see this?
Yeah.
But like, those things, that little like, or that little comment with some fire emojis, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is all free, but it means as much as buying something.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that's something that I would really like to make sure that everybody does know. And, you know, that's why I always try to support in any way that I can, you know, and I saw your hustle, and that was another reason why I was like, I want to support someone that's all in. You know, there's a lot of people that do it part-time, and I'll support them as much as I can, but I know the meaning of when someone's all in. Like, they got everything on the line. You've literally put all your chips on the table. There's, you know, and so I'm right there with you. And so that's why, again, like, I think that's why we connected as well, because we both know our struggle, and it's kind of like, man, I know exactly what you're going through.
I know. Yeah, that day when we had the pop-up, I'm kind of like, you're like, how did you feel? I'm like, yeah, I was crying. You're like, yeah, I cried too. I'm like, you cried too? Oh, okay, this is normal. Like, all right,
it's normal, bro. It's
normal.
We need like some entrepreneur groups or something to talk about what's normal, what's not normal.
Yeah, drop. I don't know where you're gonna put this on, but wherever you can comment or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me know, entrepreneurs. Have you guys cried over your business? I'm sure everyone has had to.
Let us know, because like, I think even just as dudes, like as guys, we just don't cry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about that, at least. You know, we're not so vocal about it. But again, I think it goes back to the point of like, we're so passionate about how we feel about this, and if it goes wrong, or if it doesn't go as planned, it could be devastating. And so like, there's just this, it's like this emotional roller coaster that we go through on an everyday basis. So I wanted to dive into a little bit, because you are married, right?
Yep.
Dang, got
Keep
the
it
ring
on
on. Damn, on the gold one too. That's a nice one, bro. That's vintage.
I
Look,
wish.
it's vintage, bro.
It probably would have been cheaper if I would have thrifted one.
How long have you been married, bro?
So in a few months, it'll be 1 year. So me and my now wife have been together for, this year will be 13 years. But we've only been married for 1 year now. So
Nice.
high school sweethearts.
High school sweetheart, and so you guys, you know, got married. What made you, after so many years being together, like, what was the point where you're just like, okay, I think it's time to propose? Like, what happened?
So it was a lot of things. Number one, we needed to have, my whole life, I had this goal of having a house, just owning a home, and owning cars, you know, just stuff like that, just normal stuff. So I wanted to get that taken care of, and that got taken care of. And then I just wanted to make sure that we were both like super locked in. Obviously, we were together for so long, and we would always talk about it. Like neither of us were opposed to getting married, but we're like, do we want to spend all that money and do this and that? Should we just go to the core? You know, there was a lot of that talk. And finally, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like I'm locked in. Like, what else am I gonna do? You know, like, and we were doing so great where we were at financially. So I'm like, no, I do want to have a wedding. Not even just for us, for everyone to come celebrate like our love. That's basically what it was. It went from like this thing being locked in. I'm like, we already have a mortgage. Like that already locked us in.
We locked in.
Yeah, we're locked in. So it wasn't, the married part wasn't like getting locked in. It was more like, let's celebrate how long we've done in this journey that we've been on, you know? So that's kind of what it was for me when I proposed, was like, I just want to celebrate it, and I'm locked in, you know? Like,
Nice.
It's over with. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to kind of think about it, right? And you went the route of, because a lot of, sometimes you hear about it is dating and then marriage and then buying the house and then kind of doing that. But obviously with you guys being together and just, experiencing life together for so many years, you guys, went with the house and then obviously kind of grew within your jobs and stuff like that. And
yeah, it just worked out perfect because we were always on the same page about stuff. Like, it would have sucked if I was kind of like, hey, this is what I want to do. And she's like, no, we need to get married before we do all that. That would have been like, kind of a wall. But everything that I wanted, she wanted too. She's like, no, yeah. Let's save our money. Let's spend all that money that we'll probably spend on a marriage or a wedding. Let's get a house. Like, let's do that. Let's lock in. There was years when we lived in a condo before we got our home that nobody even saw us because we just put our head down and we were grinding because we had a goal. And that was what's so great about me and her, is like, we can just do that. And there's not a lot of people you can lock in with like that because they don't understand it. They don't see like the future. And she did, and she always was down with me. I'm like, hey, we're going to lock in. It's going to suck. We're living in the hood. Like, it's bad, but I'm telling you, it's going to work. And she's like, I'm locked in, And
nice, bro.
That's kind of like, that's a marriage, That's what you want.
Yeah. And that's dope too, because you guys were basically doing it without the title, right?
100%.
And I think that means more than actually the ring or, the whole wedding or anything like that. Like, if you're so locked into your partner that you're doing everything with the goal to get married, without the, doing it without the title, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think some people too, maybe, if you're maybe single and just kind of thinking about, what are the next steps with your relationships or whatever that is like that's okay. That's an okay path. Like, I think there's these things that people get maybe lost within or whatever. Or they see a friend or something like that, and they think that's the path, where like your path was, a little bit different, but obviously it worked for you and the wife.
Yeah, 100%. I would say the main thing is communication. If she really, really wants a wedding and you really, really don't, talk about it and see if maybe you guys can find a win-win scenario, Right. Like, in my path, there was so many people in her ear, like, you guys have been together for 8 years, 9 years, now 10 years.
He still hasn't proposed?
He still hasn't proposed.
I hate that, bro.
But you know what she says? I don't want it. Like, we're chilling. Like,
yeah, we're good.
Our relationship is better than all of you
who are married.
We used to kick it and go on double dates with all of them. None of them are together anymore.
Really?
We are.
Really?
Like, we don't have barely any friends that are like still together from, like years ago. It just doesn't happen because we've been together for 13 years.
Like, it's a long time, bro.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be close to like, I'm about to be 30. So soon it's going to be like I've been with her half my whole life.
Yeah. That's cool, bro.
It's crazy to think about. And and like you said, everyone's path is different. So I don't talk about like, high school sweethearts, usually it doesn't work out. I'm going to keep it real. It just doesn't.
Right.
But it could, you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing is just communicating what you want. And that's what me and her really, we weren't perfect. We always had fights and stuff, but that was the one thing, is we can always come back to talking about it. Like, let's talk about it, like, for real.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are scared to talk about it because they don't want to hurt each other's feelings or blah, blah, blah. But you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Talk a little bit about like the support that you need from your significant other. Like obviously starting a business is just it's stressful. It's not only a toll that gets taken upon you, but you know, it takes a toll on obviously your immediate family. So like now that you've been doing it for 4 or 5 months, full time now, like how is that working out with, you know, because it could change the trajectory of a relationship. Like how do you?
Yeah, shout out to my wife again, and I'm glad you like brought up this topic because a lot of people don't see a majority of the time there's someone in the background that's doing a lot of the work that you see me on the Instagram, you see me on the reels, you see me at the pop-ups, but you don't see her up all night fixing my sign. You don't see her with my daughter because I can't be there to bathe her that night, you know? And when I come home, it's all love. She knows like this is what it is, you know? And I make sure to put in the time when I can, as much as I can, because it's on me too, that I can't just completely abandon and be like, hey, I'm grinding, you know? Like, no, I put in my time, but she knows that I'm doing this and I love it. So a lot of it only works because of how open she is. Like even yesterday, I was telling you I got a lead on something. She was at jujitsu. I had to hit her like, hey, you might have to come back early because I got to go do this. And she already knew about this situation. So she's like, okay, I'll be back early. Boom.
Nice.
So it's like, and it works back and forth because I want to be gone all day on certain days, but she has jujitsu. So I have to abandon that, you know, because I need to be there with my daughter while she goes and does her thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a give and take, you know, but yeah, there's a lot of it. All of the background stuff, I would say 85% of my posts, I've shown her first before I even posted it.
Nice.
I just care about her opinion so much. So if she's like, because the other part of it too is that she's kind of out of this world of vintage. You know, I get so locked in that she's like the
Outside
customer.
perspective kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I'm so locked in, it's all like intricate and she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Then I won't do it because everyone else is probably not going to get it either.
Yeah, gotcha.
So she's like perfect for that. I'm so glad that she's not so deep into this.
Yeah.
She just is on the surface so that she can be like a regular customer where she's like, yeah, no, that's not it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Fix it. You know?
Kind of like a little bit like a business partner.
Literally, yeah. She's just life partner, you know, in everything that we do.
That's cool, man.
Everything, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's good to hear too, man. I think like it's just tough to really find a life partner, I think, you know, and I'm really blessed and lucky that I have something very, very similar to what, you know, you're explaining. And there is difficult times. Like I'm not gonna sit here and make it sound like, you know, for me personally that it's always like she's happy to like like I guess help or whatever, because there's just times where like, you know, here at the store there's there's a few days a week where I'm here from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and that can take a toll on anybody, especially when it's just consistent like that. And so and you got, you know, the little ones at home, and you know everybody needs their own time, and she has a busy schedule as well. So you know, I just wanted to kind of bring that to light a little bit, because I don't know if somebody's, you know, again, struggling with something similar, or, you know, thinking about starting a business, and they gotta understand that like it takes a pretty strong conversation with your significant other to understand like, hey, I won't be home as much, or I'm gonna be needing to be gone like a little bit later in the evenings because I got these pop-ups at, you know, First Friday that go till what 10, 11 o'clock at night or whatever it is. So
and that's the first person that's going to my pop-ups is my wife and my daughter.
Nice.
They're always pulling up to the pop-ups,
supporting.
you know?
Yeah, they came here, bro.
They came here.
That was cool, man.
So
that was real
it's
cool
like,
to see. Yeah,
that's just the way that we are. And when she does her jiu-jitsu matches, I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm supporting, carrying her bag around and stuff. You know, that's just the way it is. But like you said, I know I'm hyping it up like we have this perfect relationship. We don't. 100% we don't. Like, we have fights. We live with each other, so little stuff pisses us off, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, that's just life. You know what I mean? You're going to hit bumps in the road and stuff like that.
That's part of being married in a relationship.
Literally, yeah.
For
if
sure.
You're not fighting in your relationship, I mean, maybe you guys don't talk enough.
Yeah, or you're just sweeping stuff under the rug. You really got to, gotta get that out. Get it out, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So you can keep it moving. Or else it's gonna just blow up on you, bro. Yeah, for sure. All right, man. You know what? Thank you for talking that through. You know, I appreciate it, and getting a little bit vulnerable about your situation, and obviously crying, and during these tough times, because it's a roller coaster, man. It is a roller coaster, and sometimes it can get super, super tough. But we're gonna go ahead and start a little segment here, and this is gonna be like a would you rather kind of segment. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, and
I'm nervous.
yeah, get nervous, my guy, get nervous. No, but okay, and it's a lot of it is something to do with relationship kind of would you rather. So just to kind of give you a topic, and I haven't.
You're trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Angelo in trouble, and I haven't actually shared these questions with you. So this is like straight up like,
Yeah.
this is live, baby. This is live. All right, you ready?
Let's see.
Would you rather argue all night to resolve the conflict, or go to bed leaving it unresolved?
Whoa, that's a tough one.
And the wifey watches, so
So talk about it all night.
would you rather no argue?
Okay, go at it.
Yeah, you guys are arguing, man.
Okay.
It's a tough. This is a tough. Yeah.
Or do it in the morning then? So you're
No,
arguing in the morning?
because you can argue all night to resolve it. So the
Okay.
next day it's resolved, or go to bed just leaving it unresolved. It's basically just sweeping it under the rug, but you get to
Gotcha.
go to bed. You get to go to sleep.
Okay.
So it's not really resolved. You don't know
So-
when it's going to get resolved.
I would rather argue all night. I've done that a lot. So yeah, I would be down for that.
You said I've done that a lot.
I'm down for that.
That's what I do, baby.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you
That's
think
what-
you win the arguments, or do you think your wife does?
So the problem early on was I would win every argument, and I'm like,
You're too good?
no. I didn't like it. I'm like, you're just shutting. She would just shut down.
Got it.
Because like, I don't know if you guys can tell through this conversation, but I'm very upfront. I use my hands when I talk. I'm very like,
Yeah.
and that's how I am when I'm arguing. I never yell.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Okay.
aggressive.
But you raise the voice.
I raise my voice.
Okay,
I'm
get stern.
aggressive and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
stern.
Yeah.
And she would shut down.
Got it.
So it got to the point where I had to learn, like, oh, you're shutting down. Let's take a little bit of time. And then that's why the all night thing is real. Take a little time. I'm going to come back and we'll talk about it some more.
Got it.
So I had to learn to do that so that I don't just win every argument because she shut down.
Yeah.
We're talking through it.
Dunking on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro,
basically.
you're just dunking
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Okay, man. Hey, but you know what? I that's real, because obviously these situations happen, and for me, we've done both. There's just times where we're just so exhausted, and there's a problem there, but it's like for us to stay up all night and resolve it is just gonna totally mess up maybe the next day, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's I think there's different scenarios where it makes sense and it doesn't. But I see what you're saying, bro. Like I
Yeah,
think
if I could do both, I would have said both.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But it's what would you rather?
Would you rather?
So what
Yeah.
would you rather?
For me,
You're like, I'm going to sleep.
no. If it's like
I'm tired.
if it's like before 5,
I got time.
I got time. No, I got time. No, but I would like to eventually. I would like to resolve it. Like I would stick with what you answered, because I would like, but I just don't want to stay up all night, bro. I ain't staying up all night. I'd rather go to bed, my guy. Anyways, man. But yeah, I think resolving it sooner than later is for me is the same thing, man. Just get it out the way. All right. Would you rather ask your partner for help or leave it unresolved? So like, let's just say you need help with something, and she's gonna do one of those like, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? So what would you ask her if, even though she wasn't feeling it, you knew she wasn't gonna feel it, or would you just say, man, fuck, I'm just gonna do it myself?
Yeah, I always ask her for help.
Got you.
Yeah.
Team player.
Yeah.
Nice.
And most of the time she's like, okay, no, I'm not gonna lie and say most of the time she doesn't want to do it. There's certain times where I've already asked, like I'll say, I'll word it like this. If it's one of those times, this is my last favor, and then I'll ask, so she knows like I know that I've already been asking too much stuff,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna want to do this. This is my last favor, and she's
Yeah.
like, what? And then I'll ask. Yeah, I ask all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm down with asking.
Teamwork, baby.
Yeah, have to.
Would you rather go on a double date or a romantic date with your wife?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
I mean,
Because I like both.
right.
But I would do the romantic date.
Okay.
I'd be down for that.
Do you think your answer would have been different before?
before.
Like just like maybe like a few years back, if you had some, some really good like friends that were,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I said I do like both, because if you get the right couple, it's way more fun.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right about that. I didn't think about that part.
Yeah.
If I had like a good double date in my head, then maybe I would have said.
Yeah, especially if it's like the homie.
Yeah.
Because there's no like.
And that's my thing. I won't go into too much detail, but my best friend hasn't been with his girl, and that's used to be our double date.
Gotcha,
because my girl is super cool with his. He's obviously my best friend.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit. Yeah, so maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, I don't have a double date.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I asked if it would have changed or whatever it is. But
yeah, I go with the romantic.
So you go with the romantic piece?
Just me and her, good, one-on-one.
Would you rather get matching tattoos or piercings?
I have neither.
Yeah, you got neither, bro. That's why I asked you this. That's exactly why I asked you this. Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, I didn't see no tattoos. I see no piercing on this dude. So let me ask you.
I would go tattoos.
Hell yeah, bro. What would you get? Do you know? I mean, you don't have to answer. I don't know, but.
Well, I don't have any, so that's the thing. I haven't.
Yeah, you're just open game, bro.
But that's why
for me, I got to squeeze it in somewhere.
No, but you're already. If you get another one, no one's gonna really.
Right.
When I get that first one,
everybody's gonna see it.
Everyone's gonna know, like, what's up with that?
Right on your neck.
Yeah, like, so I gotta put some thought into it.
Yeah.
The only one, shout out to my pops. The only one that I've really had on my mind. I don't know if I'll get it, but he had on his chest, or he has, I should say, is Miss Rose Boys, and that was the last name for the lady that raised him. So I was gonna get like my mom's last name, like Miss Brown Boys. You know
got it. Yeah.
So kind of like what my dad has, but for my mom.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I've ever thought about. So I would.
And it has a meaning that you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I just haven't had it on my mind where I'm like, I need this. Maybe one day. I don't know.
Matching. Yeah, you got to get with the wifey and see what she's down to do.
She
tattoos
has,
or piercings?
One. She has my daughter's name.
So
when
she's
my
got
daughter
a tattoo
was born.
In piercings?
She has ears, but no like lip or nose or nothing.
Got it.
Just regular ear piercings.
Do you think she'd be down with either?
No, because I don't think she would do a weird piercing.
It doesn't have to be weird.
Like, what would we get? Like, she would get another top ear one or something?
Maybe like ear, nose, lip, eyebrow, whatever, bro.
See, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's going hard.
That's going hard. I couldn't see her getting any face piercing.
Got it.
But yeah, I think no. I'm too old. I lost.
Get the lip, my guy.
Get the closest thing I'd probably maybe get a nose.
Okay, the nose.
Sometimes the nose looks cool, like a little Tupac joint.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Tupac with a diamond.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
That might be kind of hard. Yeah.
But
are your ears pierced?
No, I have no piercings, no tattoos.
Damn,
it's crazy, huh?
That's like the anomaly of what's going on these days, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of why I don't even want to get a tattoo, because I'm like, I'm already this far.
Right.
Like,
fuck it. Why do it? Yeah.
Unless something comes to me, you know?
Yeah.
The only thing I have talked about is like that font, like that Mr. Cartoon font.
Yeah.
Like my last name across my back, you know? That
always a banger.
Sick. That's
always
a banger.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the pool.
Always a banger.
Banger.
Yeah.
You just
gotta represent.
Yeah, you just look sick.
Right. You just take out, like, looks like you just got out of prison or something, bro. That's like a prison tat kind of.
That's what I'm saying.
Bam.
That Mr. Cartoon font is just
all across your back.
Big, like.
Dang, now you got me thinking. Dang.
Hey, we might have to get matching.
Take it easy, my God.
You get your last name, and I'll get
I was going to say, bro, I try to get your last name. Damn, son. Oh, shit.
We were talking about Charlie's earlier.
Oh, shit.
Next question.
Yeah, next question, my guy. This one I think I already know the answer to, but I had it in my head, and you're basically doing it right now, but maybe we can talk a little bit more about it before we wrap up. But would you rather have a job that you hate and make a lot of money, or have a job that you love and make a little bit of money? And we already kind of talked about this, right?
Yeah, 100%. I would take the job with less money. I literally did it, 5-6 months ago? Because, I was in a place where I had, we could do whatever we wanted, like money-wise.
No worries.
Every weekend, we would go out to eat. We would go to the movie, whatever we want to do. I wasn't rich.
No, but
it
you
was
enjoyed
just
life.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Super comfortable.
Yeah.
And I threw all that away because I hated it. Like
he said, I threw it all away.
I threw it all away. Like now, and that's the cool thing about the marriage. I know some people that don't like marriage is probably like, this fool just hyping this up. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm serious. Like, thanks to her too, she was down with that. I told her like, hey, straight up,
We're gonna be living broke.
we can't get sushi every weekend. You know? We can't go get pho.
Yeah, life's gonna change a little bit. Yeah,
and she was cool with it, and
That's
she
cool.
has been.
Yeah.
She still be on me like, hey, let's go get pho. You know. So
Yeah, but
we'll
you guys
go.
kind of went through that before too, right? I mean, you said you kind of like, you know,
Yep.
we're on a budget,
Super
you know,
budget.
and so like you were aware, I guess, or it's not like unfamiliar territory.
100%.
So it's not like, oh crap, like it's like a slap to the face where it's just like you're taking someone out of a crazy element and putting them,
Yeah.
you know, in a difficult time. Like, you know, you guys seem like you already kind of knew that. So that, I think that really helped out.
That's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're 100% right. We have done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we had like a strict budget.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
you're
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different because like if you really wanted to, you could have been like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But now it's like, hey, I just bought a bunch of inventory. I'm broke.
Literally. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right now.
Yeah.
In this exact moment.
Right.
Yes.
You're like, yeah. I feel you, bro. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. All right, man. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate you
course.
coming on, bro. Hope you had a good time.
It was amazing. Hopefully
Yeah.
we could do another one or
Hell yeah.
something.
Keep it going, bro. Keep it going. And this is actually going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
We're going to have it on Apple Podcast, Spotify. But we're looking to launch this right at the beginning of October here. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed Angelo, his story, got to know him a little bit more. Where can they follow you at on your socials? Like, how do they contact you? Can you go ahead and let everybody know?
Yes. So if you guys want to follow, shoot me a follow on Instagram. It's vintage, VINTAGE INAZ. So vintage in AZ, like Arizona. I post daily on my vintage page on Instagram. I also have a link in my bio where you could shop 24/7. So it's through Macari, but if you see anything on there, I'll give you a better deal through the DMs on Instagram, but you can kind of look at my inventory there. And then every first Friday, downtown I'm on 6th Street, like across from the Jimmy John's. I'm posted there selling in person. So if you guys ever want to come check me out, I'm downtown every first Friday.
First Friday of the month.
Every first Friday of the month, I'm down there.
What hours?
So it is from 5 to 11. 5 to 11. You could come earlier because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just downtown. So you can
it's
come.
open.
It's open. I'm there I start setting up at like 3:30. So you can come whenever you want. But, you know, it gets kind of cracking and stuff around 6 to 11-ish. But yeah, so in person, downtown, Instagram, Vintage AZ. I got 4 events lined up already for October.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, just follow me on Instagram. That's pretty much where you can find me. Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, again, man, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate you, bro. And I know this is just the beginning, so we'll keep it rolling.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.
Peace.